Captain's log. Stardate unknown. The Argo is trapped in some sort of interspatial dimension. We did, however, manage to rescue Admiral Nora West and the 12 surviving members of the crew of the USS Juno and bring them aboard the Argo before whatever happened to bring us here happened. How exactly we got here and how the ship survived the journey is unknown. Fortunately, the ship and crew are both in good shape, which means we're in a better position than some might fear. End log.
All right, we're going to kick things off on the bridge of the Argo. On the view screen, you see the rings of the planet and a black void in space.
I'm assuming the rings and the planet itself.
You see the planet and the rings,
Okay.
but like where normally you would see stars, you see none. It's just endless black.
How long after the end of the last episode is this?
Right after.
Okay. Looking around just at the bridge crew, what does their do they look afraid, nervous, confident? What's my sense of their morale at the present?
Insight command difficulty of 1.
Just see what happens if I roll it flat. Oh, very good.
Momentum. For the most part, they're a little rattled. They seem to be holding their own.
Okay. Lieutenant Mara, give me a all call. I'll walk over here to the front where I can actually look at my bridge crew while I talk. Attention all hands. This is the captain. As most of you may be aware, we have found ourselves pulled into some sort of interdimensional or interspatial void. Right now, we know very little. The planet appears to have been taken with us. We do know, however, that the ship and all of you are intact and well, which gives us more of an advantage than we might have had otherwise. I understand that the current situation is concerning and indeed even frightening. But this is the best crew in the fleet, and together we have overcome more and more difficult obstacles than this. Stay calm, stay at your stations, do your jobs, take care of one of each other, and we'll get back to where we're supposed to be. I have every confidence in every single one of you. Haggard out.
Give me presence command difficulty of 2.
All right, this time I will give you a threat for bold. Inspiration as a focus.
Yes.
Oof, good thing I gave you that bold. Barely made it.
You have an advantage going forward that you can use to call upon, any individual to do stuff out of the norm.
Okay.
So essentially a free crew support if you need it.
Cool. Let's see, Tanner's is not here. Mr. Chatray, what can you tell me about the region we're in? Let's get the full battery of scans. Lieutenant Mira, my compliments to Admiral West and ask if she would please join us on the bridge. Number 1.
Yes, Captain.
Do you have any experience with this sort of thing?
No, sir.
Well, keep a sharp eye out. We know, according to Admiral West, there were mirror operatives on the planet below, and they may well have traveled with us. And if they have a ship, it's theoretically possible, I suppose, they could achieve orbit and come after us.
Agreed, sir. Recommend we go to yellow alert just in case.
Make it so.
Aye, sir.
Captain, Sickner reports that the survivors need to be checked out in medical first.
Understood. Ask Dr. Shallot to make Admiral West a priority. She and her crew have been here, been on this planet for a while, and apparently seen several of the shifts. She may have important information for us in this situation.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Jatray needs to roll a reason plus science difficulty 2, assisted by these ship's sensors plus science.
I'll grab the ship if somebody wants to do Chatray.
I can in a second. I'm fighting the dogs off.
What number is this Chitray rolling? I can roll him in Discord.
Alright, Chatre, where? What's he under?
Science.
Science. Alright, what's the roll? Reason, science, difficulty 3.
That'd be 2.
Oh.
Advanced sensors, I forgot about that.
And we do have a momentum.
Okay, I will take that momentum. Do I have a focus that applies?
Be sensors operations.
Okay, so that'd be
scan the
S.
area.
Alright. Here we go. Oh.
3 momentum gained. Total 4 momentum.
Nice.
Check your messages.
Yep. Just had to run down after the dogs again. They're all up today. Sir, it appears the sensors are unable to scan past the rings of the planet. It would appear that the gravimetric eddies around the planet's uh, exosphere are acting as sort of a natural barrier, effectively creating a pocket of normal space-time.
So we were able to travel here safely, albeit unwillingly, because we were in orbit of the planet inside the rings.
It would seem so, sir. The planet is creating a safe pocket, like a fish in a bucket of water.
Hmm. Well, we know, at least we think we know from what Admiral West and the other survivors said, that this planet phases in and out of our dimension and potentially the mirror dimension every over a certain amount of time, but we have no idea what the interphase period is.
That is correct, sir. However, we can take some comfort that eventually we should probably end up in the mirror universe and then eventually back here and probably then back into our space.
Keep in mind, although not nearly as much time passed for Admiral West and her people, 15 years passed here on the outside before the system made its way back. Number one, coordinate with Lieutenant Chitre. I'm afraid I'm going to have to call on you to recall some of your engineering knowledge. See if there's a way we could create some kind of field or bubble of this normal space if we could emit our own graviton radiation.
I'll see what I can do, sir, but I can't make any promises.
Understood.
Meanwhile, in sickbay.
Where'd my crew go?
It would probably help if I put people in there.
Captain, it appears that the entire sickbay staff has not made the journey with us.
You'll be fine. Keep working.
It just feels so empty without a Hardman.
Phrasing.
Drawing a blank right now. Why are all these people in my sickbay?
They are the survivors of the Juno.
Ah, yes, we did the whole triage thing. That's right.
There are
Yep.
more. This is just,
Yeah.
These are the people we picked up on the planet.
I believe it is Starfleet protocol to do a medical assessment.
On sauce. I want assessments on all of these people. Stat.
Yes, Doctor, of course.
I'll be in my office.
Well, this will be a reason plus medicine assisted by the ship's sensors plus medicine, difficulty of 1.
Okie dokie. Triage, xenobiology, either of those. Radiology.
I'll take biology.
Okay. Difficulty 1. Reason medicine assisted by ship sensors medicine.
Wow. Kind of fire, which means we're screwed later on.
You're capped with 1 flute.
All right. What does the assessment show? Ansas will press the comm panel on his station. Doctor, I think you should take a look at these results. They're quite interesting, and I'll transfer them to the doctor's office. It appears that all of the survivors have been rejuvenated in some way. Organs, bone density, tissues seem to be close to people in their mid-30s for some and younger for others. It appears that this is due to the metaphasic radiation in the area. Since this is coming from the planet or the rings, I would guess that the longer the Argo stays here, it will start to have the same effects on our own crew.
Amazing. There could be a paper in this.
Indeed. But the survivors seem more than healthy, Doctor. I don't see anything wrong with them. Indeed, they're healthier than they theoretically should be for people in active and often dangerous careers.
What about the crew of the Argo? Are we starting to show the same symptoms?
Unknown. I haven't begun to scan for that. I might suggest, sir, that you be one of the first to be scanned, since you have actually left the ship and been on the planet, and thereby perhaps received a greater exposure than those of us protected by deflector screens and radiation shielding aboard.
Agreed. I would recommend a survey of me, somebody who has been on board the whole time, possibly you, as a control, versus one of the survivors. Perhaps we could set up data points of how quickly the radiation affects people.
That seems to be an adequate research plan. I believe the captain wanted Admiral West to join him on the bridge as soon as possible. I don't see any reason here to hold her in sickbay. Do you, Doctor?
No, send her on her way.
Understood. Admiral West, the captain requests your presence on the bridge. You and your officers appear to be perfectly healthy. However, I would like to request that one of them stay for some more detailed scans so we can see how this radiation is affecting you and potentially affecting our crew as well.
Of course, I'm sure one of them would be more than happy to volunteer for you.
Thank you, Admiral. And Ansas will begin more detailed scans of the volunteer and then move on to scan himself and then the doctor.
For a momentum.
Sure.
You notice that Dr. Charlotte is a little bit more on the advancer side, but it would appear that the Argo crew is in the early stages of the same metabolic rejuvenation process.
The question then becomes, Doctor, what happens when the exposure stops?
Is there any way to shield from this radiation to simulate perhaps on some organism other than us, obviously? Perhaps a mouse, if we have a mouse somewhere.
We have laboratory animals. However, it would be difficult at these early stages, the laboratory animals having been shielded as well as those of us on the ship, to tell any reversion or effects absent the radiation would be very difficult to detect in someone or something who has only received a minimal exposure as have those of us on the ship.
It's a good point. Perhaps we could set up an experiment to put them on some sort of shuttle to rapidly increase their exposure.
That could work, sir.
In fact, we could probably put one on a Class 9 probe. I believe there's room for life support on it.
We'd need to get engineering involved, sir, and you know how they are about our experiments.
Well, perhaps I can get the captain to do that request for us.
They'll probably send that pause person.
Well, to be fair, we kept sending them Hardman, so...
Ah, yes. I suppose we do owe them for that.
Very good. Keep up the good work. I'll inform the bridge of our findings so far.
So, yes, Ansas will see if he can figure out a way to liaise with engineering to figure out a way to expose a laboratory animal to higher degrees of the metaphasic radiation. Particularly if I have an older, or even, I don't know if we keep a sick one around, but we might have an older specimen to expose to.
Well, we could always infect it with various pathologies. But yes, Dr. Chalette will contact the bridge. And Chalette to bridge.
Haggard here. Go ahead, Doctor.
Captain, good news. The crew appears to be in great shape. In fact, probably the healthiest subject I've ever scanned. But we're wanting to do just a few experiments with the metaphasic radiation on some of the lab animals. We'll probably be using some of the engineering staff, if that's all right with you.
Well, um, coordinate with Commander Martell. I've just given him a rather large engineering assignment, so you'll have to see if he can spare the crew.
Of course, Captain. But I would like to stress the vital importance of getting the results of this, as if it turns out that leaving the metaphasic radiation is harmful or even terminal, we need to know as soon as possible.
Understood, Doctor. I'll inform the commander to make sure that you get someone to help you.
Thank you, sir.
Haggard out. Number one, when you get a chance, send someone to sick bay. They need some engineering help to run an experiment to see what the possible effects of this metaphasic radiation may be on both us and the survivors.
Understood, sir. I think I know exactly who to send.
See it done, number one.
And Martell's going to go at his own panel. Bridge to engineering.
Andrew's here, sir.
Hey, Anders, could you send Paz over to medical? Apparently they need somebody to help them out with some sort of experiment.
Are you sure, Commander?
Well, let me ask you this, Anders. Do you want to work with him?
Right. I'll let Haas know.
Thank you. Bridge out.
Ah, Lieutenant Paz, of course. How lovely to see you again.
Yes, I was told to report here. What do you want?
We are in an area of metaphasic radiation, which appears to have a salutary effect on humanoid biology. The survivors of the Juno who have been exposed to it for extended periods of time show a remarkable regeneration and health far beyond what they should have, given what they've endured and even of their ages. We've discovered that the crew as well is being affected by this radiation, although at a slower rate thanks to the Argo's shielding. However, we are concerned about what may happen in the absence of the radiation. Will old injuries come back? Will sudden aging take effect? Therefore, we wish to put one of our lab specimens outside the Argo's shielding to expose it to a higher level of metaphasic radiation to see both the effects and then of the radiation and then the effects when we bring it back on board and shield it from the radiation, thereby eliminating its exposure and seeing what effects it may have. The doctor suggested putting the creature aboard some sort of probe and launching it beyond the ship's radiation fields. That, of course, is more your department than mine.
You know, these probes were not meant for creatures to be on board.
Oh, but I'm sure an engineer of your talents could modify one sufficiently. Or perhaps you have a different idea that might work as well.
Well, I suppose it will work, and using my superior skills, as you mentioned, I could probably come up with something. I would just need the criteria for exposure levels and life support requirements of the creature.
Of course, I can provide those for you without any problems.
Very good. I will start on it immediately. And she kind of.
Whoever's rolling for POS, give me insight plus engineering, difficulty of 1.
Let's see here. She's not in engineering. Oh, there we are. All right. You said insight engineering?
Yeah.
All right. Any focuses?
She doesn't really have one for this.
Okay, I'll give you 1 threat to activate bold engineering. And get the 3rd die. I guess I'll re-roll the 1 because why not? What could go wrong?
You're capped with 1 float. You realize that sending a mouse in a probe is highly inefficient and a waste of a good probe. It would be better just to collect samples of the radiation and store them in a container in a concentrated state, to the point where then you can feed in a chamber to where, essentially radiating the mouse with the metaphasic radiation in a sealed container somewhere on the ship.
It might be inefficient, but she has to show off her prowess now that the doctor called her out. I'll show that doctor that I can do anything.
Constructing such device and the appropriate lab would be a simple control plus engineering difficulty of 2.
Engineering. Okay, and I'll give you another threat for bold engineering again, and 3rd die. And re-rolling 1.
You have a float. But yes, after some time, POS was able to construct a appropriate facility for a test subject. And while POS was doing that, we're going to go to the bridge.
Ah, Admiral. Glad you could join us. It looks like... Oh, go ahead.
It's a mighty fine ship you have here, Ulysses.
Thank you. I'm rather fond of her. So it looks like we made the transition to this interdimensional space, whatever you want to call it, along with the planet and its rings, because we were between the two. Looks like the gravimetric radiation emitted by the rings allows a pocket of normal space around them, the planet, and anything within that bubble. But it does mean that we've been shifted out of our time. You said you've been through several such shifts while on the planet's surface. What can you tell us about the effects, the subjective time period, anything you can give us?
It really felt like we were only there for a few weeks as we were transitioning between whatever plane we're, from our universe to wherever else we're going. I'm assuming the mirror universe, considering the others that are on the planet's surface. But they only arrived after we crashed.
And how many of these transitions did you experience during these subjective few weeks?
Only the two. It'll be three now at this point.
So from our universe to the mirror, back into ours, and now this current transition.
Correct.
And is it Chatret? How do you say his name?
The tray.
Chitray.
Chatret. Fascinating. If you do the math on that, calculating a couple weeks to 15 years of our time, that gives us a passage of time of approximately GM.
15 years.
Oh, I meant like how long each day here represented in the or
Oh,
did I just kind of throw that on you to
yeah, I didn't really think of the math on that. Like I said.
okay. I could probably figure it out real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll figure this math out. How many weeks did they say they were here?
She's uncertain, but a best guess is probably 3.
3 weeks.
Well, sorry to pull you out of your normal time stream. But thank you for the rescue.
Haggard says, well, it's certainly not the first time. And you're welcome. I just hate that you got pulled out of yours. Now we've just got to figure out how to get back home, and hopefully not 15 years from when we left. I've talked to Commander Martell about potentially seeing if the Argo can generate our own graviton field to allow us to have our smaller bubble around ourselves if necessary. Did you or your crew, were you able to get any readings on the transitions that you experienced on the planet? Or I imagine things were fairly busy otherwise.
After the crash, we ran out of emergency, batteries that we've collected throughout the ship. Collected food stores from we can for emergency rations, and then what vegetation was on the planet. Mostly, the days were spent just on basic survival. And and that's when we saw the other ship.
Martel's gonna look over to you, Mr. Stray.
I've got the answers, sir.
Oh, you do?
I think I did it right. By my calculations, sir, if they were here for approximately 3 weeks, which meant equaled a passage of time of approximately 15 years in our time, that means every day that we're in here, 200 and approximately 61 days will pass in our time.
Martel will look at you, Mr. Stray, and go, close enough.
What'd you get?
260.71.
Oh, I got two. Oh, you didn't take into account leap year, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I took into account leap year.
Gentlemen, you're both pretty. All right, Mr. Trey, start us a clock now with that information. Let us keep aware of how much time is passing, both subjectively and from our universe's perspective, as far as we can get objectively. We need to figure out a way to navigate ourselves through this.
Starfleet checking in. Howdy.
Hello.
Hey guys. I just came back from drill. I am way too exhausted to play a game with you guys. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man.
Sorry. I probably should have said something to you perhaps earlier.
No worries. Martel, for the gravimetric study, give me reason plus engineering by the ship's computers plus engineering difficulty of 2.
Since I'm being assisted by the ship's computers, does my focus computers help?
No, because it's much different than that, than working on a computer system. The computer's assisting because you're doing simulations.
Yeah, I know.
Computers engineering.
Difficulty 2?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take a momentum. Awesome.
1 float and you get the momentum back.
There's the exact calculations.
Captain,
What is it?
given the simulation data that I've been running, there is no way that the Argo can generate enough gravimetric radiation to stabilize ourselves from the interface.
Hmm. All right. Let's Lieutenant West, do you think you could telepilot a probe through the gravimetric distortions of the ring planet system and out beyond its protective veil, see what information we can gather about the surrounding space and its effects once something passes through its bubble? Mr. Tutray, review the sensor logs of the transition itself from normal space into this void region. See if you can pull out any useful data from that.
At once, sir.
Any suggestions, Admiral?
Seems like you have it well in hand. Lieutenant West needs to roll a daring plus con difficulty of 3. There'll be no assist from the ship.
Okay, I'll take care of her. Daring con. Small craft or astronavigation or helm ops.
I'll take small craft at an increased complication because this is not really.
Okay. Right. Let me read over her. Would push the limit supply.
Yes.
Contact. Okay.
So difficulty 2.
Okay. So take a threat for bold. Well done, West.
3 float. You launch the probe and you watch the probe. As you launch the probe, and it starts to veer out towards the rings, and West, makes several sharp moves with the probe, easily navigated it past the rings. As it passed the rings, the probe suddenly disappears.
Since we got 3 float, can I spend 2 of that for an advantage that West's piloting the probe out from among the gravimetric distortions? Will reduce the difficulty if she has to fly the ship through that or something else through that.
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Tutray, did you get any data from the probe or from our sensors about what happened to it when it disappeared there?
It's coming in now, sir. Computer's making its final calculations now. Taking into account the Cochrane variant of this area, the complexity of these calculations, sir, they're maddening. Ah, here we are. Excellent news, sir. Nothing new. We lost contact with the probe right as it went into the rings. The last data I got from it seems to suggest a massive negative energy field, sir. That's fascinating.
Negative energy field? Are you talking like antiprotons, anti-electrons? What can you elucidate, please?
Is that what I'm talking about, GM? Yes. It's anti energy.
Hmm.
We should be very careful, sir, if it were to interact with our normal energy. The repercussions could be unfortunate.
That's one way to put it, Mr. Dre. So we are essentially surrounded by, from our perspective, an antimatter field, or there is we are in some sort of bubble of normal matter and energy surrounded by an anti-energy field. Number one, can you do anything with that information? Is there a way to protect us from that kind of anti-energy?
GM, out of curiosity, when our probe entered the negative energy field and we lost contact, did sensors pick up any sort of explosion or any sort of energy readings as a matter and antimatter of that size coming together would probably
Well,
make a
probe
boom?
doesn't really have matter antimatter in it.
Well, I just meant the probe is made out of our matter
Right.
versus the negative of the energy field.
I will give you this: the probe was destroyed. By the computer's estimate, the probe, given that the field is, would probably have been destroyed nearly instantly as it crossed the barrier. More than likely disintegrating slowly as it passed through, or like the atoms were just being annihilated as it passed through the field.
Okay, but it was a slow disintegration, not a explosive one,
Right, it wasn't an
relatively
explosive
speaking.
one.
Very fascinating.
Sir, the best I can tell you is we should not come in contact with the outside field as we would be coming in direct contact with the ship's direct inverse. You know what
I'm not a engineer by trade, but don't we have antimatter on board that we manage to safely keep away from the normal matter?
Yes, then whatever has created this bubble location here that we're in right now is safely contained from the anti energy that is that space, preventing us from coming in contact with our direct inverse now.
Yes, my question becomes, could we use the same technology that we use to separate the matter and antimatter for storage reasons on the ship to protect the probe from the effects and perhaps get more complete data?
Give me a minute. Not really. It's it's much more complicated than you believe.
Okay, it was worth a thought.
To break down the science, it's essentially the antimatter stored in a giant, storage container that's magnetically, pushing the antimatter towards the center of it. So,
Yep. I was thinking basically create a magnetic field around. So instead of pushing it inwards, it pushes outwards.
right now, I, I get that, but that's a lot of energy to hold back. It's the same thing with the
No
gravimetric
problem.
wave that I gave him. Like the energy supplies you have would be depleted.
Yep. It was just a thought.
Yeah, no, it's a good thought though.
All right, Mr. Chitre, what are you seeing from the sensor logs when this breakthrough into this space happened?
We instantly lose contact with the probe, sir.
No. When the planet, the rings, and us within that protective bubble, when we made the shift to this place, non-place, review the sensor logs for when that happened and see if anything interesting pops out of there. What kind of energies were directed? What was the spatial effects? Anything you can find from the sensor records.
On that note, scene change. Go down one momentum. On the view screen, and as your sensor readings, as your Trey was about to go back through the findings, and actually also because he kind of remembers partially of what happened here. The exosphere, essentially around the rings, a large ion storm begins to brew. Um, Lightning strikes around the whole entire in a globe like shape as you're witnessing. Violent reactions begin to happen as the rings start to the matter in the gravimetric eddies start to shift more rapidly within the rings, and suddenly the storm dissipates, and you start to see stars again.
Red alert. Mr. Chitre, give me a sensor sweep of the area.
Sweeping, sir.
Number 1, standby phasers and photon torpedoes.
Understood, sir.
So are you scanning around or on the planet?
All of the
Assuming
above?
all of We'll start with around the planet.
Okay.
You will note that sensor readings show that there are currently no contacts within the area, at least nearby.
Sir, I'm not picking up any contacts in our immediate vicinity.
That's good news. What about beyond the rings, and the planet's surface?
As you start checking that, Mira kind of turns. Captain, I'm detecting another distress call coming from the planet. It's the ISS Juno.
I turn and look at Captain Nora West. A mirror universe.
Apparently so.
Wonder if the ISS Argo will be showing up. Mr. Trey, keep a sharp eye out on long-range sensors. We may need to play hide and seek if anyone answers that distress call. Just had a
Should we perhaps try to jam it to prevent anyone else from coming here?
It's not a bad idea. Mira, see if you can tap into any regular Starfleet communications at sea, if we can figure out exactly where in the worlds we are. And I think Trey may have an idea there. See if you can't. I really want to jam a distress signal.
That's why you wear the big pants.
And I think Mr. Trey has a point. See if you can't jam their distress signal.
So to pick up on comms traffic in the general, nearby area, that will be a reason plus engineering assisted by the ship's communications plus engineering. Because the minute she starts jamming, she won't be able to listen for her.
Fair. You want to take Mira, Martel?
Sure, I can take care of Mira. Let's see here. You said control engineering?
Reason plus engineering.
Okay. Subspace communications?
Yes. And assisted by the ship's communications plus engineering.
Okay, and let's go on ahead and give her one momentum for now.
Gotcha.
I get a reroll. You said diff 2, right?
Yes, diff 2.
There is a reroll. Come on. There it is.
I need the ship one challenge dice for untapped potential. Two momentum gained. Captain, I am picking up Tholian vessels as well as Starfleet signals, but I don't think they belong to us.
As I thought, we appear to be in this mirror universe, which we definitely don't want to be.
And just for clarification, is it Starfleet or Terran Empire?
It's the Terran Empire Starfleet.
Yeah, I think they still call themselves Starfleet. So
All right, see if you can't quash the communications, the distress signal from the planet below. I think our best bet here is to keep our heads down until the transition happens again. Anyone disagree or have any better ideas? Seriously, folks. Speak up.
I'll get back to you, Captain.
this will be an opposed role. Control engineering assisted by the ship's communications plus engineering.
You got her, Martel?
That's for Mira.
Yep. And we've got 6 momentum. And it's
Okay.
opposed.
Yeah, let's go on ahead and do. Well, why not? Dump all 6. And I get to reroll that 0.
Well, I'm just spending a threat on that.
That is 7 successes.
You gain 3 momentum out of that, and 1 challenge dice from Mira.
Well, you get a threat.
And you get a momentum. So total 4 momentum gain for you guys.
Nicely done. Well, looks like we might get a sneak peek at the early 24th century, assuming the time variance remains the same.
That would put you at 20 or 2301.
Yep.
Lucy's a moment.
Of course, Admiral. Number 1, you have the con. Right
Yes,
this
sir.
way, Admiral. Coffee?
Please.
Pour some coffee. Have a seat. Do you have an idea, Admiral?
just call it intuition, but how fast did you respond when when we sent our distress signal?
Quick as we could. We alternated maximum military speed with the minimum possible cooldown time at regular, at normal max cruising speed until we got there. It still took us about 6 days.
Do you think it's possible that they heard that call? I just can't shake
Certainly,
I just can't shake this feeling.
certainly possible. Um, our If so, our best bet is to try and keep ourselves on the opposite side of the planet from whatever ship comes in. The gravimetric and metaphasic radiations do a pretty good job of dramatically shortening sensor ranges. We couldn't even tell where exactly on the planet's surface your distress beacon was coming from until we were in orbit of the planet itself.
Perhaps we should find where this other Juno is at and maintain a orbit on the other side. That would help us at least hide for the time being.
A good idea. Haggard to Haran. Haggard to Mira and Haran. Lock on to the coordinates of the emergency beacon we're receiving and put us on the opposite side of the planet from its origin site.
They respond, understood, sir.
I've got to say, Admiral, I don't see a way of punching out of the bubble in interspace, and even if we could do that, I have no idea how we would navigate through that kind of dimension. The safest bet I see of getting both of our crews back to our Federation is to hang on and until the next transition hopefully takes us back into Universe Prime, for lack of a better word. And then from there, we deal with trying to get back to our own times or whatever.
I'm talking about a slingshot maneuver.
It's theoretically possible, and although I think I'm the only one on the ship who remembers it, we've done it once before in the Argo. I won't say it was exactly fun, and certainly put some stress on the ship, but we reinforced the structural integrity field, and between that and the shielding, we were able to get in close and swing in tight around the sun. We did have some rather unexpected and expert help as far as defining our coordinates, however. And who knows if we, in 2301, if Starfleet will even let us try such a damn fool thing.
A lot can change in 15 years.
It's true. And that's assuming that 15 years is as far as we go. I'm making a lot of assumptions here, more than I'd like. But I don't think the Argo has the... wait for what Mr. Trey learns, but just judging by the size of the ion storm and the discharges around the bubble, I'm not sure the Argo possesses enough power to punch through from dimension to dimension on our own.
It seems too risky, to be honest.
However, there was some indication from Captain Kirk's and then Lieutenant Commander Spock's reports that the Tholians may have had some degree of control over the spatial anomaly that took the Defiant.
Yes, I remember reading that in the report. Of course, that was well for me. It was less than a month ago.
That might be another possibility if we must, just to see if we could get help from the Tholians in one universe or another. However, at least in our universe, they're not exactly the most forthcoming of neighbors.
Given the reports from Kirk and his dealings with the mirror universe, I can only expect the Tholians here might be just as irate as the Tholians in our universe, if not more.
Agreed. And from Kirk's logs and some personal experience, if they're dealing with the Terran Empire, they're probably, if anything, more liable to shoot a ship full of human-looking humanoids before answering any questions.
Assuming the Terran Empire didn't wipe them out. Or God knows what they do in this area of space.
Well, Mira did detect Tholian transmissions, so one way or another they're here, whether as an independent state, a client state, or conquered people. But honestly, I hesitate moving out of our little, relatively safe bubble.
No, this place seems the only way to get back home. Granted, it is much longer than I care to admit.
Well, I promise you, Nora, when we get to wherever we wind up, I'll do everything within my power to get you and your people back to your own time.
I guess the one thing I do have to look forward to is being the oldest admiral in Starfleet. Assuming we make it out of this alive.
Assuming. But our chances aren't as bad as they could be. Speaking of which, have you... how are you handling your great-granddaughter? I told you she looked like you.
I suspect she inherited the best qualities from me.
Well, like I said, she's a hell of a pilot. And Haggard finishes off his coffee. All right, then looks like we're agreed that our best strategy is to lay low and stay on the ride until we get back around to where relatively we came from.
Agreed. If I remember correctly, the last lightning storm will happen roughly 2 weeks from now.
Well, it's going to be a long 2 weeks. And I'm going to head back out to the bridge. Number one, let's prepare a series of probes to put out beyond the rings, extend our sensor range a bit. Minimal emissions, just enough to extend our ears and eyes. so that if anyone comes visiting, we get a little bit of a heads up.
Understood, sir. I will do my best to minimize their power emissions as that would make them more detectable.
Hmm. Admiral West tells me that we can expect the next lightning storm, if the periodicity stays the same, in about 2 weeks of subjective time. If we're right, this next transition should take us to our universe, although sometime in the future, 15 years from when we left, if the periodicity of that remains the same. But in any event, we can at least get off the merry-go-round in something close to home and work our way back from there.
Understood, sir. I'll see what I can do.
Stand down to yellow alert.
Alert.
Number one, if you'll excuse me, I think I need to get out and about among the crew.
Understood, sir.
Excuse me, you would happen to know who I could speak to about getting some quarters and a fresh uniform? And the yeoman goes, "Oh, of course, ma'am. Right this way."
My apologies, Admiral. I haven't been a good host. Yeoman, do the same for the rest of the Admiral's crew.
Aye, sir.
Number one, you have the bridge, and Haggard will go walk the decks and try and project an aura of competence and calm to the crew.
Meanwhile, in sick bay, a certain experiment is ongoing. Well, at least
It's on fire!
the containment room has all been set up. There has been guys have been in here for a while. Collected enough concentrated form of the metaphasic radiation and set aside a test subject and begin pumping the sealed containment where the subject is at with higher levels of the metaphasic radiation. I need a control plus science difficulty of 2. Or it actually be science.
Okay, let me see. Where's Ansas? Or Doc, you want to do this one?
I believe I put you in charge of it, so I'd just be in the office kind of monitoring
Okay.
results.
Do you want to run Ansas just to make some rolls and play Ansas? Or do you take Pass?
It's fine because I've took Pass and then I also took whatever his name is.
Right. Martel, you want to grab him?
Sure, I can grab on sauce.
Grivy, have at. I'll do the ship if any rolls are necessary.
Let's see here. So we're talking reason science, I think.
Yes, reason science difficulty of 2.
Okay. Do any of his focuses apply?
Does he have
Highly
research?
doubt it. No, I don't.
I'll take xenobiology.
Okay. So literally, Ansas is going to be they take me out of medical and put me in science. What good is a perfectly good surgeon in a scientific location? Oh boy, and this is gonna be. What was the difficulty again?
2.
Oh boy, this is gonna be difficult. I'll take a momentum. Hopefully this works. Yep. Okay.
Uh, as you watch the test subject, the scans show that the test subject has started undergoing a rejuvenation process expected for the levels of the concentration of the radiation that it's currently being exposed to. The test subject also appears to be feeding more and drinking more and also more active.
So let's see here. Increased metabolic rate. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Uh, Dr. Chalet,
Go ahead.
you may want to take a look at this. And he hands you a uh like one of those information storage devices from the TMP era.
I'll take it and plug it in. What do you got?
Well, apparently they have an increased metabolic rate, and if these readings are correct, can survive even longer than normal human beings as of now. At least as
Interesting.
long as at least as long as they're exposed to the metaphasic radiation.
Yes. Now we'll have to find out what happens if we suddenly cut them off completely. See if there's any adverse reactions.
Understood, sir. Uh, you know that I am not much of a scientist, correct?
Oh, have
I,
Ansas take care of that part.
sir.
That is on sauce.
Oh, sorry, I'm used to the captain noise.
Um, it's gonna be control plus science difficulty of 2 to start.
Control.
Yeah, to
Well,
evac the chamber of the radiation.
what's Ansas's
Oh,
control
that's a
science?
13. That's a 13. He can do it. He's just more like, sir, I am a surgeon. I am not a scientist. These hands were made to, well, keep you from dying.
Yes, well, this data might keep us from dying now. Get it done.
Understood, sir.
Dr. Shawlett is a typical healthcare administrator, not big on getting their hands dirty.
I guess this will be with no focus, and I will take another momentum. He does have a reroll because he's cautious. Oh, no, he's cautious medicine.
Is the ship assisting at all?
No. He does have a determination. And I would take his value because I represent the very best of Stratos academia and society.
Okay. So he'll re-roll 2 then. Well, there you go. There's your 2.
You vent the chamber of all radiation, and as in doing so, as you monitor the test subject, the results start indicating that the subject will begins to age normally.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Doctor,
Yes.
apparently in the absence of metaphasic radiation, the test subject ages normally for their species.
Excellent. That's great news. Since if they died, it meant that we would probably die too.
Yes, sir. And then this surgeon would be unable to save any further lives.
Yes. Shout it out. And then I'll relay to the bridge. Sick bay to bridge.
Haggard here. Go ahead, Doctor.
After series of experiments, we've managed to determine that the test subject, much like the crew that we rescued, had the reverse aging effects. However, when sheltered from the radiation, they simply reverted back to their normal aging processes, which means that we shouldn't have any ill effects if we suddenly leave the radiation belt.
So the creatures, people who have been exposed to the metaphasic radiation, begin aging normally from and experiencing normal metabolic effects from the point at which they are no longer exposed to the radiation. There's no apparent process by which the exposed person or entity rapidly reverts to a previous state. It's just normal aging from the point where the radiation ends.
It would appear that way. We'll continue to monitor just in case there's any long-term effects that we need to understand. But right now, the news is looking pretty good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. However, be aware that the lives of Admiral Nora and her crew, as well as potentially the entire crew of the Argo, if we have to ride this merry-go-round into the future, may depend on knowing exactly what happens when exposure ceases. I would hate to think that old age might catch up with all of us rapidly.
We will confirm our results, of course, but I have every confidence at this time that our patients should live a long and happy life.
Excellent. I will hold you to that, Doctor. Haggard out.
On sauce.
Yes, Doctor.
Do the test again. Shout it out.
Crazy doctors making us do meaningless tasks.
After a few days of you red alert sounds as it's a few days later as you're kind of hanging about.
Okay.
Detroit kind of pops up. Captain, long range sensors, two Constitution class vessels are approaching the planet.
Understood. Keep the bulk of the planet between them and us. Let's try and keep them from seeing us. Fly stealthy, Lieutenant West.
On the probe sensors, show the two vessels entering the area. This will be an opposed roll. I need Wes to make a daring plus con, assisted by the ship's engines plus con.
All right. I'll grab West. Pose roll, daring con. Helm operations for focus.
Yes.
Push the limit supply.
No.
Okay.
It is opposed. Though you do have essentially two free successes because of this area. So
just because of the
radiation.
Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, let me give you a threat to activate bold. And then I'll spend 2 momentum for a 4th die. Daring con for engines con.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Uh,
Let me give Wester and nothing for junior officer, whatever.
You get 2 momentum.
Let's use that to quash the comp.
So far, they have not detected you yet.
Excellent.
Let's see if they even see the people there. They are currently busy. West needs to make another roll to try to avoid sensor readings from this vessel. Being another
Okay.
pose of roll.
Bah, humbug.
So yeah, daring con. This is by the ship's engines plus con.
Okay. Give you a threat to activate bold, and for the third dice,
Spend that threat.
let me re-roll that 0. And then see what the ship can do for us. Engines con. 6.
Gain 5 momentum.
You go west.
You're close enough. Eve Mirror's roll was a 4, right?
Mirror's roll for the jamming.
Yes.
Good lord, man.
That was a 7.
7. Oh. Nope. They are currently within weapons range.
Have they appeared to detect us? Mira, drop the jamming. Let's see if there are people on the surface. Distract them.
Ugh. Argo will need to move a square essentially at this point. Daring plus con, difficulty of 4. This is the ship engines plus con.
Okay, take a threat for the third die and bold. Take. There's 2 momentum for die 4. Just give you the rest for the 5th die. Thought I clicked it. There he goes. She'll re-roll that comp.
How many dice am I taking?
1 threat for bold and for the third die, and then I gave you 5 threat for die 4 and die 5. And let me get the ship. Sorry, I hit it twice because it didn't go through. I've already re-rolled the comp for the first one, so if you'll take that. 2, 4.
4 momentum gain.
See, you should always have Prax design your helms, people.
Which zone are you moving away from?
So I need to move. Where's my arrows? Like away from this ship.
Yes.
Let's just move over here. Did you hear my telling Mira to drop the jamming?
Yeah.
Okay.
You lose sensors on the ship.
Ah,
Captain, it appears that they're communicating on landing teams. It appears they're picking up the crew.
all right.
And they state that they have prisoners.
I'm assuming it's the Yorktown that's picking up their people.
By the looks of it, yes.
Did they send down shuttles or are they using transporters?
Appears they sent down shuttles.
Opinion number one?
Well, sir, apparently they have prisoners. The question is, what type of prisoners?
Well, Admiral West here and her people had some conflicts with them on the ground. Isn't that right, Admiral?
Yes, there was 54 of us that survived. There were, I assumed, the worst, but it is possible there was at least 10 of us that.
Well, let's see, we have much choice then. Number one, sound general quarters, crew to battle stations. Lieutenant West.
Hey, sir.
Lieutenant West, take us in a course to come over the polar orbit of the planet for an attack run on the Yorktown. Number one, phasers ready, photon torpedoes loaded. Danger, Kimber Cloud.
Oh boy, yeah.
I need to know where you're moving to and who you're attacking first. Wow.
All right. Is each hex a zone?
Yes, each hex is a zone.
Okay. Let me pull up. Pull up my Starfleet Starship combat stuff. Sorry, guys. Give me just a sec. Okay, so it looks like we've got to move. Two, three. The outer red circle is medium range.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see this or not, but
Yeah.
close, medium, long.
Okay. I'm moving from there. So it looks like we're going to need to impulse to get into to move into a long range, which is a power requirement of 1. Have some momentum. So yeah, west will impulse us. Let me grab the ship. 2, 3. Puts them right in long range, which is not great for phasers, but I'll tell you what, instead of impulse, let's warp to. Can we warp in this mess?
Add increased difficulty and complication.
Oof, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, let's try to warp into here to get them in nicely within medium range. So what does West need to roll?
Daring con difficulty of 2, complication range of 2, assisted by the ship's engines plus con, and this will cost you 4 power.
Okay. Take a threat for bold. Oh, sweetie.
She made it.
Yeah, let's do the engines con here before we figure out what to do about that. No help there.
1 challenge dice, and she can re-roll 1 because bold.
That's true. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so there's 1 complication gone. And a momentum gained. We'll spend that one and 1 more
Don't forget to roll the challenge dice.
Right. I clicked it. Nope, no joy. So yeah, we'll spend the 1 momentum gained plus 1 more to quash the second complication there.
Okay, so you're down to 3.
Let's spend 2 to keep the initiative.
Okay. So no one has quick to action.
I don't think so. Martel, do you have quick to action?
He doesn't.
I do not.
Okay. Off the top of my head, I don't know if any of the supports do.
It has to be a player character.
Okay. Yes, I don't think anybody here does. So yeah, spend 2 to keep the initiative. Haggard will direct Bartel to fire phasers on the Yorktown.
That will be a control plus security, assisted by the ship's weapons plus security. Difficulty of 2. Complication range is 3.
Does that complication range also apply to the captain's assist roll for direct?
No, because it's more of a thing with targeting systems. So
Okay.
Control security difficulty of 2. Complication range of 2, I believe you said.
yes.
Okay.
And we got 1 momentum.
Bad thing is, I don't have my focus is all set up for security officer yet, because he's still in the process of transitioning.
Do your best. You've got the ship assist and then the Haggard's assisting, so this technically isn't even your turn.
And I'll take 1 more momentum.
Okay.
How many dice are you rolling?
3.
So 2 threat, 1 momentum.
No, just 1 momentum.
Oh, right. Okay. For some reason, I'm thinking you're rolling 4. Ship.
Weapons security. Wow, nicely done. And then
Presence command. 4 momentum gained. Roll phaser damage.
you want to get at Martel?
Sure, let's see. What's the phaser damage?
You just hit the button, unless you want to add more power to it. That's going to cost
give
you
me
1
a second.
power.
Give me a second. I need to look at this. I need to.
Down to 9 power.
So that's. How much power did you dump into it?
We spent 4 to warp into medium range of the enemy, and then we just spent 1 because we fired phasers, so we're down to 9.
Okay.
Remember, we got another whole ship out there.
Yeah, I thought banks don't have the ability to do that.
Though they can increase with power, but they cannot do area or spread.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't dumped any extra into the phaser damage. We've just done
Unless-
warp, and then shooting a phaser costs a power.
Unless you have, independent phaser power supply, you would not be able to do that.
Oh yeah, that's what that is. Which
So
I
we
don't
can't
think
put
we
more
have.
power in?
No, we can.
Oh, okay.
Because
just
we
have
don't
not
have
as yet.
independent phaser power supply.
Yeah.
let
I would
me
recommend.
Let me dump another 2.
No, yeah. Okay, so that brings us down to 7 power.
Yep.
All right.
You know what?
What?
I would like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna spend.
You have
The
2 versatile.
versatile-
Yeah, don't forget
Yeah,
the 2
I'm gonna
versatile.
I'm gonna spend the versatile to piercing. And then I'd like to spend 2 momentum to devastating.
Well, its shields were down, so I mean, they're in recovery operations, so.
Yeah, I'm probably getting court-martialed for this one. Oop. I wanted the sheet, not the thing. There it goes.
I thought for a second,
Reinforcements, hell yeah.
Galaxy class starship flies in.
It goes to them. That sucks for them.
So he did devastating, so shouldn't that be more than 2 breaches? I mean, you know the rules way better than I do.
It's 10, half of 5. It's doing 1 damage, so that's another breach.
So they're over half of their scale now.
Well, it's
Devastating
indifferent.
doesn't get the versatile stuff.
It does. What do you want to spend it on?
Oh, that's all going into piercing.
Ah, their breaches equal their scale.
It is their go.
Well, with impact weapons, it should have to reset it.
That's just a minor.
Yeah, it's just a minor.
Which I have to spend to do 2. To restore both weapons and engines.
Haggard's dealt with the mirror people before. He's not taking any chances.
Spending a threat. Compass 3. Oh, dear God. Well, that is a hit. That is 8. Minus your 5, so 3. Versatile into. You know what? For the complication, I'll say for both complications, they don't get versatile on this. So you take 3 damage to your shields.
Kidoki.
And as for the other one, they have to do another minor action to restore their weapons again. Turn passes back to you guys.
I guess that would be officially my go then.
Certainly could be.
I'm going to remind you that they've been doing recovery operations.
Yeah, the shuttles were still on the planet's surface, though, right?
I'll roll an effect. I'll roll a challenge dice. If there's an effect, they are.
Okay.
If not, they could be on the surface or they could be on the ship. It could be both. They could still be on the surface. You're not sure.
All right. Mira, hail the. Hail the ISS Yorktown. This is Captain Ulysses Haggard of the USS. Oh, what?
We're still in combat. You already went.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Technically my go.
It'll make it tougher, but I'd just target, like, Well, it's an NPC ship, so rules are entirely different. So if we just targeted their like engines,
I'll give it one that they've put their shields up during that part. They managed to get.
Yeah, I figured they would.
yeah,
I just
figured
that
they would.
there's like a lot of miners in that, so
yeah. Yeah, what I'd like to be able to do is target their engines so they aren't going to go anywhere. But I don't know if mechanically if we can do that, or if you're using the NPC ship or rules where just X number of breaches blows them to hell.
you can always find out.
Ha! So is it one? How does the NPC breaches rule work? Is it one above their scale, or?
Essentially, yes. Well, one above their scale is disabled. If they're two above their scale, it's outright destroyed.
Okay.
Remember, we don't need to destroy them necessarily.
Yeah, I know. They are in recovery operations. And we're in medium range?
Yep.
You know, Captain, I wish you'd have left us at long last time. But this'll work. Yeah, I guess I'm going to wind up firing again on them.
All right. Same role. Difficulty 2, control security. So the ship weapon security. Complication range is 3.
Maybe try to disable rather than destroy.
That's what I'm figuring that their shields are better than 10. Probably. So as
Okay.
long as I get more than 9 or more, I'm going to wind up with the 5th breach on them.
I will tell you have to be very careful about your idea is you want to probably do a minimum of 5 damage.
Yeah, that's my idea.
And a maximum of 5 damage.
Yeah, which is if I roll 9 damage, I'm not even going to worry about anything. Max I can roll is 9 damage. So.
But I mean, I guess you could you not declare that?
No, that's basic. Okay, so what I'm saying is, with 9 damage, taking into account their resistance,
then
it's 5 damage.
Okay.
So, I'm not trying to blow them up.
Okay.
Are you targeting their engines, or what are you doing? Yeah, I guess we can target the engines. That'll make it difficulty 3. Yes.
Well, you've got 2 momentum.
Yeah, 1 threat, 2 momentum, please. Well, that works.
Oh.
Gain 1 momentum.
Ship needs to assist to weapon security. It did?
Yeah. It rolled a complication.
Oh. That's right. No.
Roll phaser damage. Make sure you have a 1 in the.
Yeah, it's already been swapped back. Okay. Here it goes.
That's a total of 8. That is 4 damage.
I'm going to spin that momentum for an extra damage.
Okay, and there's 1 versatile left.
Wait, did he spend momentum or use versatile?
It's versatile.
One of the versatile. Okay. I forgot I had 2.
Okay, so hold on, let me get that back then.
So extra damage and oh, why not? Do a power drain.
There's a good one. Ow.
Okay. Passes back to them. They're effectively disabled.
Yes.
No. The other one maneuvers into medium range. I am spending to keep the initiative.
Everyone hold on.
This is by far the worst place to have combat.
Around the planet or just inside the rings?
This whole area.
Yeah, but we don't really want to move out of this area now, do we?
No, you don't.
Yeah. Besides, trying to fly through the rings with the gravimetric distortions while in combat? No.
Ooh. That's 9 minus 5. I believe that's 4. Total damage there. Versatile into piercing. So 8. I believe that is a breach.
Yeah. So take 8 off of the shields. 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Breach to engines.
Got it.
You lose 2 power immediately.
Got it.
You do not do a restore minor action. All tasks that are assisted by the ship's engines have a complication increase in difficulty and complication by 1.
So whoever goes.
I believe it is Dr. Shillette. Let's go. Do you
What
wish
the hell is going on up there?
You should use your minor to restore the engines.
Do not approve of this combat.
You could also activate a supporting character if you want, or you can go on your character.
Can I activate? Because Dr. Shellette is not a very good battle. Being a pacifist. Let me. Was it Tezovo? Whatever.
You can only have one combat character active because, yeah.
Okay.
Because the Argo does not have a security rating of 4, so you don't have dual security stations.
Right. Chitray's on the bridge, and he's capable of doing a minor too.
Could I make a suggestion, Doctor?
Sure.
Activate Anders, use your minor to restore engines, and do a restore power.
Ah, nice.
Okay. So Anders, what do I need to roll for this?
So for the
I got it. Daring or control plus engineering assisted with the difficulty of 2.
Okay, do I EPS systems for power.
Yeah, that will apply.
Okay.
We do
Let's
have
see.
a momentum.
I will take that to activate cautious engineering and the extra die, and let her rip.
Gain 1 momentum off that. You also get back 1 power. You can spend that momentum to get an extra power back.
We should probably at least keep 1 on the board to be able to activate cautious.
We with that power restored, are at 5 power right now.
Okay,
Should go to 6. You were 5.
Yeah.
So you're at 6 power currently.
what's our max power, out of curiosity?
14.
14.
Okay, so we're under half.
Yeah, a lot of that comes from our secondary reactors.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll use the extra momentum to boost our power up by 1. And then did I fix the engines or?
That would be in your minor, but yeah, you could have done that.
Okay. So
Uh,
engines are up and running.
And we're not bleeding power anymore. So
well,
we're
that
at
doesn't.
7 power.
Yeah, you're not. You weren't bleeding power until you get like 3. So
Right.
We'll do that. Back to them. Let's do 2, oh dear God. Squashing the comp. You guys can activate another supporting character.
Did they hit us?
No. They did a scan for weakness on you.
Ah, oh, okay.
1 second.
Out of curiosity, how do you restore the shields?
It's another control engineering, difficulty of 1. If it's successful, you gain 2 points of shields plus 2 more for each momentum spit.
I am back.
So, yeah, we can activate 1 more supporting character. We could either have someone shoot again, or we could regenerate the shields. But
we can actually activate 2 more supporting characters because Charlotte has supervisor.
okay, dog. But
We
I
should
don't know.
probably.
My instinct is to hit them.
Yeah, probably a good
You
idea. But
won't be able to go again. You won't be able to do that until the next round. We're still in the first round.
Well, but if we activated someone on the bridge, you could do an override, theoretically.
You could, yes.
So let me ask you this: do we need to activate another supporting character, or can we go to the next round? Or
I have you, so you don't have to if you don't want to, but I still have 1 round to go.
okay, honestly, in that case, I would probably activate POS, see if you can't get some momentum and restore some shields.
Yeah.
Or well, POS is already activated, but yeah.
That's
A new
control.
scene, right?
She's already been activated. The cruise port doesn't technically go away.
Yeah.
So It is control plus engineering, difficulty of 1, assisted by the ship's structure plus engineering. You will get back 1 shield.
It says 2 in
Or
the
sorry,
book.
2.
Yeah.
2.
Would emergency repairs or EPS systems count for this?
No.
Okay. Let's see here. I will give you a threat for bold engineering. And the extra die. And here we go. Okay, I'm going to re-roll that one with my bold engineering.
There's the ship. 2 momentum gained, looks like.
Yes, and you get back 2 shields, so you're up to 7.
If we
You wanna-
plow that momentum into shields, we could gain back 4 more points of shields.
Yeah, why not? That should be enough to at least take one more shot if necessary.
All right.
It is their turn.
Engineering's really cracking down there.
That'll happen during a battle.
Oh, I'll have to spend a threat on this. 53.
And unfortunately, they got the scan for weaknesses on us.
I know, because that's a diff too.
Yep.
No bueno on that. This will be the top of the round. It is they acted last, so you get to go.
What's the base difficulty at him? Is it still at 3?
It's 2. It's just complication range is 3 when you use the weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Radiation is not your friend here.
Yeah, true.
No.
Essentially, anything that's like energy based is at a increased complication range of 2. So transporters, trying to get locks on things.
Would photon torpedoes count?
You still have to do a targeting lock on it. So
Okay.
And with their shields up, it's hard to do a lot with torps.
Yeah.
So if I direct it again, that we might be able to generate some momentum, and hit them hard. But then I won't be able to, while we're still in combat, contact them and try and convince them to surrender or die. But that's probably our best way to generate up some momentum, hopefully. What do you guys think?
You have the ability to use your direct twice per scene?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I've got decisive, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
crisis
I was
management.
making sure you
Crisis
had it.
management. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will direct Martel to fire phasers.
Okay.
That would be control security, difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's weapons plus security, complication range of 3.
Right. Also assisted by the ship's captain's presence command, I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'll just give you 1 threat for 1 die. I wish I had shipboard tactical systems, but I don't. Hey.
Ship might help you here.
Here's the assist. And then here comes the ship.
Game.
Can I spend my determination on nothing is impossible to re-roll that comp
Sure.
or mission directive?
The value will be fine.
Does the nothing is impossible count?
You're technically not missing on this shot. The issue is you could overload your phaser banks.
Yeah, that's the issue.
I will take it.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
2 momentum, roll phaser damage, and you lose 1 power.
And I will dump another 2 power into this.
So total, you're going down to 4 power.
Yeah, because I have a plan. It
Okay.
didn't catch my 2, I think.
No, it did not.
Here's
Roll.
the extra 2. Oh.
So far, that's no damage.
Yeah, I'd like to should be 1, but okay.
No.
Versatile for piercing.
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm thinking one versatile to re-roll the 5 challenge dice that didn't hit anything.
Okay.
There we go. That's better.
So 4.
And then
That's 4 damage currently.
spin the other versatile into piercing.
So the other versatile goes into piercing, so that's total of 6 damage, which is 1 breach to their engine.
Then I would like to spend the 2 momentum we have to retain the initiative for my go. If I can do that.
Already spent.
Cool.
Okay.
And then it's just going to be basically a repeat of what I just did. Another phaser shot, 2 power dumped into it.
That's going to put you at 1 power.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
down to 4 power, and just the shooting the phaser costs 1. Remember.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So I'll just leave it as base.
You giving me a threat?
Yeah, 1 threat.
Weapons security. 2 momentum gain. Roll damage.
Better. The versatile from this one is going into piercing.
Okay, that drops their shields.
And then the 2 momentum that we have now is going into a swift task.
Hold up.
Okay. I'm sorry, this is what's planned.
Hold up.
And this one was not involved in recovery.
All right. You're spending the 2 momentum you gained for a swift task.
A
Difficulty
swift
3.
task. Yeah, and fire again.
Their
I know.
shields are down.
I know. That's the whole point. They've got 3 breaches now. 2 breaches would disable them.
Okay.
So it's another threat. Oh, nice.
Weapon security. 2 momentum gained. You're down to 2 power. That's 5 damage. So that's enough for 2 breaches. They are really blind as a bat.
We
Oh,
poke
man.
their eyes out.
Hey guys, try hitting us now. You can't see us.
Their ship is disabled.
Finish them.
Are we still in combat rounds?
Yeah, but I'm checking something real quick. Oh, I actually got that wrong. That's why I wanted to double check. That ship explodes.
Oops.
Well, they weren't involved in recovery operations, so.
Okay. Whew. So the one I just shot at
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah, the first one I actually ruled wrong. You had it disabled at 4. I want to double check because something didn't click right. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, so technically they're both destroyed?
They all blow up.
That's why I'm ruling the Yorktown as disabled.
Okay.
It explodes. New scene. Go down 1 momentum.
Bring on the court martial.
And I believe our power and shields are fully restored.
They are
What about the bad guys?
technically they're disabled. There's nothing they can really do.
All right. Are we still in combat rounds or?
Kinda, but the explosion from the Mirror Universe vessel causes the rings around the planet to become unstable. An ion storm begins to brew around the exosphere of the planet. The gravimetric eddies begin forming waves of, or pulsing, creating gravimetric waves, pushing the Argo towards the planet's surface. The train notices, Captain, the planet, or this anomaly, or whatever it is called, this interface, it's becoming unstable. The ship, real quick, the ship is going to, you guys are going to have a total of 12 intervals to ride whatever effect is out. The ship will keep moving towards the planet's surface. If you hit essentially this square, the Argo will be pushed into the planet's atmosphere and crash. In order to keep the ship stationary where it's at, it'll be a daring plus con, difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship's engines plus con. The ship can also do an impulse task and move it 1 zone. If you happen to fall back this way. At a difficulty of 4. At the end of each interval, I will roll 1 challenge dice. If there's an effect rolled, some random system will go down as on the bridge sparks are flying and.
Okay. I think it's worth risking the higher roll to go ahead and impulse like to this square, because that buys us the ability to trade space for time later. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Difficulty 4. What's the complication range on these rolls, GM?
I don't have one set, so.
Okay. So let's see.
Heading 44.5 Mark 0.
Indeed. So take a threat for a 3rd die and to activate bold. Then take a momentum and 1 more threat for the 4th die.
Ooh.
Make sure the complication is engines con.
So 2 momentum gained. I am rolling 1 challenge dice.
No effect.
No effect.
And that's 2 intervals gone.
Yes, you have 10 intervals left.
Okay.
It will be the same roll. But it'd be difficulty 2, daring con. Try to keep the ship stationary.
Do you guys want to trade off on West so everybody gets a chance to get blamed for when this goes horribly wrong?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll take her next if you want.
Yep. We got 2 momentum on the board.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna cheat. I'm not gonna spend any momentum
Okay.
or any threat.
Oh, Wes needs to roll challenge dice, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Before I forget. Before you roll.
She's gonna spend her determination on I really am the best.
You go, Katie.
Sure. One momentum gain. The ship is stationary. You have 8 intervals left.
Dr.
Yeah.
Chalette, you're up.
Oops, wrong button. I gotta roll challenge dice. Uh-oh, there's an effect.
No.
Number
No.
69. Oh, you're not gonna like this one. May power goes offline. The ship goes completely dark. The ship is unable to do anything until repair is done with a daring plus engineering difficulty 3.
Haha, that means I can't screw up.
That falls to me. A daring engineering difficulty 3.
The person needs to be in main engineering for this.
Well, it looks like it falls to Anders.
Anders, yeah.
Crap.
So it's you, Doctor.
Hey, Anders is a pretty good engineer. He's fully upgraded.
He's just about as good as Martel.
All right, what was the roll?
Daring plus engineering difficulty 3.
And we have 3 momentum.
I have threat. Because you blew up my Mirrorverse vessel so quickly, it's diff 5.
All right. Can I use the value good in a crisis?
Yeah, this is a crisis moment because you're all gonna die if the ship gets thrown into the planet.
Well, that would screw the our first and only crossover.
Well, I guess Credit's gonna have to do something else.
All right, so I'll do that, and then I'll spend. What does he have? Cautious. All right, so 2 momentum for the extra die and activate cautious. So 3, 4, 5. All right, so should really do 1 more die. What would 1 more die cost? Was it 3 more?
3 threat.
Yeah.
3. All right,
Or
so
two threat and momentum.
all right, so we'll do that.
So
So-
two threat and momentum.
Yeah. And emergency, or wait, what does he have?
I'll take
Work
emergency
your-
repairs if he has that.
He does not. EPS systems.
Yeah, I'll take that. Or does he have
Alright.
warp core mechanics?
Warp field dynamics.
I guess close enough.
Okay. Here we go.
That's
Wow.
5.
I'm gonna
Oh,
re-roll 1 because I have cautious. Yeah. Oh well.
No momentum gain. Main power goes back online. The ship is pushed towards the planet. Challenge dice.
Is this
Does
untapped potential? Is that what we're?
he have it?
No, he's doing the challenge dice to see if there's another system blows out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yes, you have 6 intervals left.
Let's
Daring.
see.
It's well,
Wait.
it's daring con difficulty 2 to keep position. Or
I,
unless
I
you
hate I hate to do this, but I think it's 8 intervals left.
This is your 3rd task, right? Yeah. It's 3rd task. So there was
Okay.
12. Yeah.
Also, he has jury rig. Whenever you attempt an engineering task to perform repairs, you reduce the difficulty by 2 to a minimum of 0.
And the ship has rugged design. So that would
This
have made
is-
your diff 5
so-
test diff 3.
This is technically a cold restart of the warp core.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. West is going to go for it and try to regain lost ground back up to here. So it'll be difficulty 4 again. Sweet. But we have an Argo one.
Yeah, it's just one that I could throw in here real quick.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just teasing you.
It's a work task 99.
We're going to be here a while. At least 6 intervals.
No, that way I can count the intervals. That way you can see it.
Yeah.
So this is you're going on. This will use up 2 intervals here.
So is it difficulty 4 to move that again?
Yes.
Okay. So Haggard is going to tell her to adjust course to 0.7 Mark 1 and give her his determination with his captain power, which she'll spend on if it isn't fun, if it isn't risky.
Okay.
Then she'll give you a threat for the 3rd die and bold.
It'd be 2 threat. Or
Oh,
yeah.
you are correct. Okay, does this count a task increase in difficulty due to environmental conditions?
Actually, yes. Push limits would apply.
Okay, so it brings it down to difficulty 3.
I'll spend threat to keep it at 4.
Okay. All right, here goes nothing. Oh,
Got it with the momentum. Did give me threats.
We-
hold on, let's do the engine's con.
Well, you can also re-roll that comp because you spent threat.
Oh yeah. It's getting ahead of myself. There we go.
3 total momentum gains so far. Just need engines con.
Come on. There's the Argo.
1 challenge dice. For
Okay, actually, here's her untapped momentum, or untapped potential, and then Haggard's veteran. Same old, same old.
Oh no.
strike that.
Don't be main power again. Okay.
No, it's not. Oh, let's go. Oh, there it is. Thruster malfunction. Increased difficulty of +1. The increased difficulty stays on. This can be repaired with a control plus engineering difficulty 2.
Is this a repair or just
That
bring
is
it
a
back?
repair.
Okay. So this is we can use jury rig, which reduces it by 2 to a minimum of 0.
Yes.
Okay. So I will go ahead and use 1 momentum for the extra die. Do I have? I'm guessing none of these count for a focus. All right, here we go. Cool. So 3 momentum.
That will cap you. Argo gets push 1. I will spend 2 threats to push you back 1 more again. And
Boo.
you're down to 2
I go
intervals
with
left.
West. I
Another
go with
effect.
West. Oh no. Oh,
I think that's main power again.
Yes, that is main power again.
Engineering the
Haggard!
bridge. What the hell are you doing up there?
Shut up and fix it.
Dr. Shillette, meanwhile, is like, how am I supposed to watch my Netflix?
I mean, the ship is rattling and shaking because it's not a fun experience right now. Yes. Diff 3. Considering this is probably the last roll, I can't crash the ship at this point. I'll go all in. Diff 6. You have 6 momentum.
okay.
So how many does it cost to roll 5?
6.
Sure, let's do it.
Now, quick question: does the ship's rugged design count on this?
You're not actually doing any repairs to the ship. You're cold restarting the warp core again. Like
It just conked out.
it's destabilizing the antimatter matrix.
Okay. It's restarting the reaction. It's nothing to do
Yeah.
with the design of the ship. Okay.
All right, so is everyone okay with me burning our momentum to do this, or do we want to?
Yeah. It's the last roll of the
Yeah.
task, so yeah.
All right. And I assume EPS system still counts, or warp field dynamics?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
One short.
So we got it. I thought you said it was 5.
6.
6.
Oh. Oh darn. Well, actually, I can re-roll 1
yeah,
because
you
I have
can.
cautious. So maybe I'll get lucky. Ah.
Ship gets pushed back. impulse engine goes out, you're no longer able to impulse until it's repaired, which main power's offline anyway. The ship survives.
Shouldn't you have rolled a challenge dice before the D100?
That's right. So ignore that, I guess. Probably doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter, so never mind. Main power's offline anyway. The stuff would have came back anyway at the end of the scene. Scene change.
Power back up.
Power comes back up. Main power comes back online.
Haggard Engineering. Well done, Mr. Anders. Well done, Lieutenant West.
Not making it easy, sir.
Understood.
On the view screen, it appears that you find that the ISS Yorktown has crashed on the planet's surface somewhere. Where once you saw stars, you see a shimmering blue whitish glow surrounding the entire planet and sphere. The rings seem to be embedded within the sphere. And through the shimmering light that you see another ship pass through the rings, another Constitution class vessel. The registered number reads NCC 1701, vessel ISS Enterprise. And with that, this will be to be continued.